KLR 650. If you're not familiar with what a KLR 650 looks like stock, Google it. Stop the video, Google it, and then come back. You can probably just you get an idea of how different this is from original. I built this bike for a friend of mine, Mike Keary. Super nice guy, but he's a larger guy. And I would say large. He's not fat by any means. This guy is a lady killer, or he was, anyways. But he's like 6'2" or something like that. So and new to riding motorcycles. So to put a big guy on a little bike would be ridiculous to make it be easier to ride. But the KLR 650 is a very easy motorcycle to ride. It's used in military. Very popular, very popular. They actually virtually unchanged from 1987 to 2006, I think. It was the same bike. So there's tons of them. Nobody's doing anything with these bikes. So Mike being a large guy, I had to put him on a big bike that's not too powerful, but good enough. And this kind of just happened. We were looking for a Honda, like an XL 650 or an XR 650 or a XL 600, but this kind of happened. And we got a gas tank from a Yamaha from the 70s. I believe it's like a 76 600, and found that at Zdeno's Cycle Salvage. I stripped the paint off and I just got it powder coated clear. No body work on this thing at all. That's original from the 70s. And then totally custom exhaust, which my great friend Cam from Romoto helped me fabricate that. It was a good night in the garage. A little turnout on the reverse megaphone muffler. It is loud. One day you guys will hear it. But spring is just upon us. It's been one day on the road for a little shakedown. Seems to be working pretty good. We had to do a dyno kit on the carburetor because she's breathing a lot freer. So we're making a little bit more horsepower, but this bike's not about horsepower. Originally it had a 21-inch tire for off-road use. They're tall and skinny, great for off-road, but Mike lives in the city and streetcar tracks, and we wanted to give it a little bit more of a supermoto feel without being a supermoto, because this is not a supermoto bike. So I reduced the wheel to 19, relaced it with stainless steel spokes. So the 19-inch rims, wider tire, gives it that little bit more meat in the ruts and stuff on the city streets. Lots of plushy suspension, which is still great, really good for the city, because yeah, it's the concrete jungle, but it's in Toronto. The roads are crap. Winter beats the crap out of our roads, so this will be great for that as well. Custom seat. I made the entire seat except for the upholstery, which AAA trim in Newmarket. Les there is super nice. He did a great job on the seat, covering it up. But it's got that very vintage feel. The whole idea about this bike was kind of like a 70s supermoto, because there was no supermoto in the 70s and dirt bikes were pretty feeble at best. So I was kind of trying to take that theme of that era and making it into kind of like a urban bike. So with some real cool stuff I did, which just should prove to be, it's not very common, I've never seen it before, but the radiator used to be here in the front, and the reservoir was on the other side. The exhaust was completely different. So I relocated the radiator to the rear. It is a little experimental per se, but I got a higher flowing radiator, holds more fluid to aid in extra cooling because of the relocation. But you can kind of see in through here, I also put the fan in the back, so it's going to be blowing cool air on there. Plus it still has tons of ventilation. A lot of radiators in the fronts are covered up with fairings and stuff partially, so I think it should be fine. But it kind of has that Baja style, because I don't know if anybody follows trophy trucks or Baja bugs. All the off-road racing stuff, they all put the motors or the rads in the rear. They have giant fans and stuff on those motors too, but it's it's kind of neat. So this whole tail section here is this. It's factory mounts. And I totally modified the factory tail section. This bar used to come all the way down here, and the one on the other side actually had a different radius because of where the exhaust was. So I cut that all off and I added these pieces in, symmetrical on both sides, and reused the factory passenger pegs because Mike likes to take girls for rides, and put some speed holes in it here, give it a little bit more style. And then yeah, so after the motor's still stock, I didn't get into it. It ran fine. So it wasn't like a ground up restoration or anything like that. Just took the motor out, sent the frame out to powder coating with Edge Performance Coatings in Newmarket. Len there is super cool too. He turns around stuff quite fast and at great prices. So and he's local, man. You guys support your local business. And yeah, powder coated black and with black powder coated rims, which Edge Performance Coatings did that as well. And then Cam from Remoto helped me relace the wheels. It was a little tricky, but we got her done. Brand new rubber from Flying Squirrel. Glenn Morrison there, he's the man. Always hooks me up, puts stuff in the mail because I don't get down to the city often enough. So super helpful, always responsive. Thanks for taking some time with me here to kind of walk you through Mike's Cowie, and come back sometime, watch some other videos, check out our go-kart videos. It's gonna be super fun with Zander Motorsports. And peace.